All right, so math spaces for 3D shapes, could be for 2D as well. The best way is to go to a new Google Doc. So you can go through Drive or doc.new shortcut. Love doc.new shortcut. If you Google math spaces, there's about 17 tools. So this is why I go through the Google Doc. So it is this little blue guy right here, Equatio. It is pre-installed for all staff and students. So students can do this too, which is cool. So if you wanted to share this video to show them, you could. So if I click on this little blue guy, it is supposed to, there it goes. I should be more patient. It pops up a toolbar. Now there's an equation editor and a graph editor and a bunch of stuff down here. This one with the little 3D shape is where you can start to play. So this is called a math space. It's just their kind of tool for creating diagrams and drawing and labeling them with math. And after you draw things, you can insert it back into a Google Doc, and it inserts it as a JPEG. So then you can put it in Google Slides. This also works really well with Google Forms. So for 3D shapes specifically, you want to go down to here. So you have your basic 2D shapes, but these 3 dots with more shapes, and you have a ton of stuff in here. And you can Google, you can search to find shapes. Wow, that company's done a good job of changing my vocabulary. So if you wanted to deal with, oh, you know what? I'm going to go with a cube. I'm going to keep it super simple. And then you can draw your cube. And this is where you can start to use the scale of the graph behind if you'd like. And you can make it so things are thinner. So if you wanted to make the edges, so you can play with your edges and vertices and all sorts of stuff. But if you click on it, you can rotate them, flip. So you can really manipulate your shape. And I've managed to get it so stroke style. Oh, you can do all sorts of things with that. Cool. You can even label it with speech if you want to describe it, and it embeds it, which is kind of interesting. But then if you want to actually label your different pieces, you can use the equation editor. Now, this is cool. You can use your voice. You can actually use handwriting. So I'm actually on my little Chromebook here. So if I wanted to say it was, let's say 10 centimeters, it actually starts to recognize that and insert. And then you can move your labels around. And the equation editor gets quite complex. So you can start to, so I can go, maybe it's something with volume. Ooh, or I'm just making stuff up. Let's try cube. No, I'm just making stuff up. I should just general formulas. Oh, there's tons of stuff in here. Area, there we go. I thought it might search, but there's tons of stuff in here, and you can take and you can volume of a sphere, volume of a cube. Boom. So I can delete that 10 centimeters. So you can add formula. You can write with this. It's really kind of neat. So I can insert math. Replace math would delete, but if you clear it, you can insert. So then I can make that larger if I wanted to kind of make that as the title, for example. So then it would be, I could even, so now that I'm happy with my diagram, I can insert it back into my doc. So that up in the corner, give it a second, it makes a picture. And now you can work with it. You can ask a question about it. What's the volume of this cube? So you can do a lot with it. Back in math spaces here, there's other smart shapes in here. If you wanted to use a protractor to measure angles, you could do that, which is kind of, ooh, that's not very big. So you can add layers of things if you wanted to overset, kind of if you needed to use that to measure angles in, say, a rectangular prism or a triangular prism. Oh my gosh, brain. But yeah, so this is a really, really interesting tool that I think can go a long way in terms of creating your 3D shapes and letting you be a little more digital. Now, I wanted to show you how this worked in Google Forms if you're using that tool. So forms.new also works. So you can see this little blue guy pops up here. So in the question, if you wanted to put a 3D shape right in the question of the form, it's those little blue floaty things that you're probably like, I don't know what that is. That lets you do the exact same thing. So I'm just going to do a quick trapezoid, and I'm going to, that's my button to put it back in the dock. And then you could ask a question about that particular shape, which is kind of neat. Give it a second, so then you can still put your text. How many sides does this shape have? I know that's not really what you're looking for in junior high, but just as a basic example of how you can use it also in a form, because it's just creating a picture. So you can do a lot with that picture, and edit and move it around and make it work within your doc. So try that. I think that might meet your needs. There's a lot to this tool in terms of if you learn how to type completely in the LaTeX math language. It has full built-in graphs. The handwriting input works pretty well, especially with the touchscreen Chromebook. Talking through a formula. So if I went allow pi equals 4r squared. Look at that. I have no idea if that's correct at all. Oh, and it's still recording me. But you get the idea. You can actually speak your math, and it's the way to type in math. So give that a shot. Let me know if you have questions.